Have you noticed that something is wrong with this story? If the pyramids are tombs, why does none of them have a king? We are not talking about theory. We are talking about empty chambers, missing sarcophagi, and colossal structures with no body inside. Every detail should reveal a pharaoh, yet it reveals only silence. And the more you investigate, the clearer it becomes. None of this is accidental. Maybe the pyramids were never built to hold someone. Maybe they were built to mislead. While the world looks upward, the real secret lies beneath the ground, where no one searches. A secret hidden not for weeks, but for millennia. The ancient Egypt secrets are not inside the pyramids. They are outside of them. If the pyramids are tombs, then where are the kings? Snefru did not build 3 colossal pyramids because he was trying to get it right. He was testing power, engineering, and control over the desert. At that time, the ancient Egypt secrets were not written in texts, they were carved in stone. Each pyramid was a way of saying to the world, I decide where eternity begins. With him, Egypt stopped thinking about tombs and started thinking about state projects. Moving blocks for miles, trained teams, geometric experimentation. It is like watching a small company become an empire, learning fast, correcting fast, growing even faster. Everyone knew that something massive was being prepared. While other pharaohs built monuments to be remembered, Snefru built to learn. 3 pyramids are not failure. They are a laboratory. They are evolution. And when we start to understand this logic, the ancient Egypt secrets stop being a mystery and become strategy. Snefru was not making mistakes, he was adjusting. Every change of angle between Meidum, the bent pyramid, and the red pyramid was part of the pyramid burial mystery. A calculated evolution, like someone testing a technology the world still does not understand. He experimented with ventilation, weight, chamber distribution, and pressure. It was the ancient equivalent of prototyping a major innovation. Testing, measuring, improving. When someone has a clear goal, the process stops being doubt and becomes method. The strangest part is not the shape of the pyramids. It is what is missing inside them. 3 giant structures, no final resting place, no definitive sarcophagus, may be hidden somewhere else. It does not look like a mistake. It looks like a strategy to protect a lost sarcophagus. In Snefru's 3 pyramids, no definitive sarcophagus was found. Nothing. Only empty chambers. The absence is so striking that it becomes an argument. It was not carelessness, it was concealment. It is as if the pyramids were monumental facades meant to divert attention from the true destination, what we now call hidden tombs. When something is valuable, it is not placed somewhere obvious. A safe is not kept in the living room. An important password is not written on a note stuck to a desk. Snefru seems to have used the pyramids as visible decoys while the body was placed somewhere else, protected from physical theft and from the theft of memory. The logic of displayed tombs changes here. From Snefru onward, hiding becomes more important than building. The pyramid is not the end, it is the disguise. And when something is created to mislead, an enigma is born that survives for millennia. Mastaba 17 does not attract the attention of those who arrive looking for pyramids. It is on the ground, horizontal, discreet. While the world looks upward, the real clue is beneath our feet. An enormous and silent structure that seems to hold the answer to the missing pharaohs. Archaeologists expected to find small tombs, ordinary things. Instead, they discovered an underground labyrinth with engineering as advanced as the pyramids. It is like searching for a safe in a closet and accidentally finding a secret door in the floor of the living room. The genius is in the simplicity, hiding something valuable in a place that looks unimportant. It is the concept of looking without seeing. Mastaba 17 does not try to compete with the pyramids. It uses them as distraction, as if saying, search up there while the true secret is right here below. Inside Mastaba 17, researchers found something that does not match the pattern of that era. A granite sarcophagus, massive and extremely refined. It appears before any other known granite sarcophagus in the history of Egypt. This changes the narrative because it puts Snefru at the beginning of the pyramid burial mystery, raising the status of the site to something real, not a test. Granite is not a simple material. It requires extremely hard tools and careful planning. To move a block like that today, you would need trucks, cranes, and a specialized crew. Back then, they did it with ropes, levers, and mathematics. If someone invests that much effort, it means the place was not a storage area, it was a final destination. The sarcophagus turns Mastaba 17 into more than an underground structure. It is the first sign of a real tomb, designed to resist time and theft. The pyramid burial mystery begins to take shape. A powerful tomb, hidden with technology that came before the Great Pyramids. Mastaba 17 was not made to be navigated. It deceives. Long corridors lead to nowhere. Chambers seem to start and stop with no logic at all. It is like walking into a building where the architect decided that emptiness could also be a weapon. This architecture is not an accident. In ancient engineering, every strike of a chisel cost time and lives. You only build something useless when the goal is not functionality, it is confusion. If someone wanted to reach the center, they would have to decipher a labyrinth designed to exhaust and disorient. It is like hiding a secret inside another secret. First, you create the structure. Then, you create the mistake as strategy. Passages that lead nowhere act as distraction while something far more important remains protected. Some tombs are sealed after someone is placed inside. But Mastaba 17 seems to have been sealed before. There is no functional entrance. There is no clear corridor. It is as if the construction was made to be inaccessible from the very first moment. This changes everything. A typical tomb expects visitors, priests, rituals, tributes. Not here. Here, the construction rejects human presence. It is the kind of architecture that does not invite. It pushes away. As if saying, what is here is not meant to be seen. If you seal something before using it, you are not planning to return. This is not a tomb. It is a protection capsule, a definitive lock, a decision to make someone or something disappear forever. The blocks used in Mastaba 17 do not resemble those of an ordinary tomb. They have the same scale and the same cutting pattern as the pyramids. This means Snefru was not building something secondary. He was applying high-level technology in a discrete place. It is elite engineering used in a location no one was paying attention to. Moving blocks of that size, some weighing several tons, requires logistics, calculations, and an army of workers. It is the same effort used in the Red Pyramid. When someone invests the same resources, they are saying without words that the value is the same or even greater. Nothing there is improvised. This similarity reveals intention. The pyramid was meant to be seen. The mastaba was meant to be used. One is spectacle, the other is strategy. And when two constructions use the same level of power, the question shifts from why here to why hide it. Mastaba 17 does not follow the logic of noble tombs. In traditional tombs, there is always space for a wife, children, offerings, and personal belongings. Not here. The structure was built for a single presence. This changes the context. It is not a family tomb. It is a tomb of absolute identity. It is as if Snefru were separating himself from the human world, not as a husband, not as a father, but as a symbol, as a solar entity. When someone chooses isolation, even in death, they are making a bigger statement about legacy and power. It is the kind of decision that turns a person into myth. This absence of family within the project reinforces the idea of hiding him. Instead of shared memory, silence. Instead of lineage, anonymity. A tomb made for one story only, and that story is his. When archaeologists found Mastaba 17, they noticed clear signs of ancient invasions. Broken fragments, aggressive damage, forced removal of objects. but it does not look like common robbery. There are no traces of careful searching, only destruction, urgency, and anger. It feels political, not criminal. When someone wants to steal, they search. When someone wants to destroy, they rip things out and break them. The energy here is elimination. Almost as if Snefru's presence, there was a problem for whoever took power afterward. The goal were wealth, they would have taken everything calmly. But this was hurry. It was urgency. It is like when a new CEO takes over and erases the predecessor's name from the walls. When power changes, memory becomes a threat. And in a country where eternity was the most valuable asset, destroying a tomb meant erasing a reign. After Mastaba 17, everything changes. From that moment on, tombs stop being monuments to be admired and become systems to be protected. The priority is no longer display, it becomes concealment. Egypt no longer wants to impress, it wants to protect. The pharaohs who came after began adopting more complex strategies. False entrances, multiple chambers, blind tunnels. The logic is simple and powerful. The harder it is to access, the lower the chance of theft. The pyramid continues to exist, but the body is no longer where everyone expects it to be. It is the beginning of a new mindset. Hiding is safer than showing. From Snefru onward, funerary architecture becomes a game of intelligence. And this movement will lead Egypt to the most radical idea of all: invisible tombs in the Valley of the Kings. Even while building other pyramids, Snefru keeps his political and administrative center in Meidum. He does not move the core of power. This reveals something simple and powerful. Whoever controls the base controls the narrative. The pyramid may be somewhere else, but the heart of the reign remains there. It is like someone who changes offices but keeps the safe in the same building. The pyramids draw attention, move resources, and create spectacle. Meidum silent holds what truly matters. When you understand this, everything changes. The pyramids are not the destination, they are the distraction. Archaeological evidence shows that the flow of workers, temples, and offerings continued in Meidum even after the pyramids of Dashur. Where there is flow, there is importance. Where there is permanence, there is intention. The transition between Snefru and Khufu was not just the passing of a crown, it was a clash of visions. While Snefru invested in strategy, Khufu invested in monumentality. One wanted invisible control, the other wanted visible domination. Two reigns, two different ways of understanding power. Khufu takes over and rewrites priorities. He not only changes the location of the projects, he changes their meaning. It was like a son taking over his father's company and saying, "Now it will be done my way." And when someone wants to leave a mark stronger than the predecessor, drastic decisions happen. This may explain why Snefru's final resting place disappears from the narrative. The body of a pharaoh is not just a body, it is a symbol. Controlling its fate is controlling its memory. And Khufu understood that better than anyone. Khufu does not look at his father's pyramids and think, "I want to do the same." He thinks, "I want to surpass them." While Snefru creates 3 projects to test, Khufu creates 1 to define. The Great Pyramid is not just a tomb, it is a declaration of dominance over history. For the first time, a pharaoh decides that his body will be placed inside the pyramid itself. This completely changes the funerary concept. It is no longer distraction. Now, the monument is the final destination. Khufu turns the pyramid into a royal tomb and inaugurates a new model of authority. The Great Pyramid does what Snefru avoided. It concentrates everything into a single point. Total visibility. Absolute display. It is the turning point. If this made you see the Great Pyramid as a strategy of legacy, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Before Khufu built the Great Pyramid, his mother already had an exemplary tomb, simple, compact, and impenetrable. While kings were raising visible monuments, she chose something different: security. No giant labyrinths, no false doors. Only efficiency. And it worked. Her tomb was not violated by ancient thieves. It remained intact. Objects, structure, purpose, everything preserved. It is like keeping a diamond in a small, perfectly hidden safe, while everyone believes it is displayed in a giant showcase. This example influenced Khufu. He understood that visibility and security do not work together. While Snefru hid through labyrinths, she hid through simplicity. Sometimes the best place to hide something is where no one thinks it is worth looking. After Snefru, Mastabas began to appear empty, with no bodies, no sarcophagi, no clear destination. It is not carelessness, it is a pattern. Egypt starts using tombs as visual decoys. A body may be somewhere else, but the monument remains visible as a symbol of power. The tomb becomes a facade. This strategy works like false safes in modern mansions. You leave something obvious and easy to find, so no one searches for what truly matters. What looks like abandonment is actually intelligence. Those who understand the value of something learn to hide it, not display it. This pattern of empty mastabas shows that Egypt finally understood something Snefru had already practiced. Protecting the body is protecting the legacy. Showing too much means losing. Hiding means surviving. 1,000 years after the construction of Mastaba 17, someone from the New Kingdom left a graffiti on its inner walls. It was not a thief. It was a worker, a scribe, someone who knew exactly where they were. That inscription mentions Snefru as the owner of that place. 1,000 years later, they still remembered. This eliminates the idea of an archaeological mistake. If an oral and written tradition survives 10 centuries and points to the same location, it is not coincidence. It is collective memory. Egypt may have erased monuments, destroyed symbols, moved capitals, but it did not forget where Snefru was. The graffiti acts as a final seal. We are not talking about theory. We are talking about direct human testimony. And when a record that ancient appears in the right place, the narrative changes completely. Now you understand what almost no one notices. While the whole world was looking at the top of the pyramids, the real power was always hidden on the ground. It was never about building the biggest monument. It was about disappearing, about protecting a legacy so valuable that it needed to be invisible in order to survive. What do you do with this knowledge? You have two choices. Keep seeing the world the way it is presented to you, or learn to look where no one else looks. If the pharaohs protected what mattered most by hiding it, what are you leaving to exposed in your life? If something is valuable, your idea, your project, your future, protect it. Keep it. Structure it. And above all, never underestimate the power of something that is not in plain sight. If this video opened your mind, if something finally clicked while you watched it, leave a comment saying what surprised you the most. And if you want to keep exploring historical mysteries like this one, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episodes. History is not made by what they show. It is made by what they hide.